Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, race fans, sim fans, RC fans, racing. 393 here again for another video. Today, right, slight change of tact. I'm still working on the TT01 gearing, so I'll be back with you with that hopefully next week. We'll see. But as you can see here in front of you, we've got a what is a box of bits. Now this is a Fast Tracks starter, and these start Nitro RC cars. So the plan is hopefully next week I better get one of my Nitro cars out just to try it out over the speed run area and just see how we get on. But first of all, what I've got to do, I'm going to show you here, and then I'll do it off camera, then show you again in a second. So you just come around this side here. So this is kind of what happens is that if I turn it on, when you put your RC car on there, you can see here we've got like a spinning wheel, big rubber wheel, which sort of goes onto the flywheel knurled part of the flywheel on the Nitro engine, and then with it sitting on here, when you push down, which I'll demonstrate, it spins it up and in theory starts the car. So the car I've got is a pull start, but the pull start doesn't work very well, so I'm going to try and adjust. I've got some pins here which I can move and adjust to fit on the chassis. But first off, what I've got to do is I've got to get the car, I've got to take the engine out of it, so I've got the gap in the chassis, and I've got to line it up on here. So I'll come back to you in a second when all that's done. I'll show you the car in sort of stages. I'll try not to keep this too long because not everyone's interested in the talking and stuff about the car itself and what have you, but I'll keep this as short as I can. And only show you the bits that I think you might find of interest. So I'll show you the car, and we can go from there. So here's the car. It's the there's a video of this before actually. So it's a RC10 GT. This particular one I built myself. I bought a few kits in various states of repair. I think I said, and sort of built an original out of, I don't know, 3 or 4 kits. And at the beginning of this year I did have this on running. I stripped all the engine out, and I did it without the manuals. I didn't have the manual at the time, so they're not that complex. But anyhow, I built it up and got it running in the shed, so it did run, just ticking over and sort of revving. But they're a little bit different, obviously, as obvious as that may sound. They are a lot different to just the electric counterpart, as it were. So these aren't my particularly, I want to say, these aren't my particular favourite looking RC car. I prefer the look of it like this, without that body shell. I'm not too keen on that body shell, I must admit. I'd much rather have like a buggy, which I possibly could do myself, put it on there. But anywho, right, anyway, you can see there the motor is in there. So I don't know if you can see down there, but if I turn the car up, so that bit there has got to go. When you put this on the starter, the rubber wheel needs to be below that slot. Very difficult to do with the car or the engine in to set it up. So I'm going to remove the engine. I'll see what gear ratio I've got on there. This is only the only one I got, but I know you can get various different spur gears and pinion clutch drums, whatever they're called on these. So that's what I'll try and do, and I'll be back with a solution of how I'm going to fit it on there. I'm not planning on running it today, but it depends. If it's fairly easy to do, I might do it in the shed. See if we can get it running. But we'll go from there. Right, I'll just remove the engine. So here we are. We've done the pegs. I've got some other pegs, but for the RC10, it doesn't fit how you'd like it to fit. But I've got a peg at the back there, and I've got two there. So what I'll do is I'll put the car on. It's not got the engine in yet. And we'll just lift the car forward, like so. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see down there, in between the, difficult to notice it there, isn't it? There. So the peg goes up against the rear lower wishbone. And it does put that kind of, it's not going to start because I haven't got it all turned on. But that goes down inside the groove, and all the front one does is it just stops it sliding off. So I've got them there just against the chassis. In an ideal world, you want them both sides, but you can see by how that's sitting on there, that ain't gonna happen. It's effectively, this is a pull start engine, hence it's got the pull start on there. And I did start it with the pull start last time, but I'll try and get it running. See if I can get it started up on this today if I can. So yeah, so you can see it kind of, it's difficult to see there, but it's dark. But it fits in a little gap. It won't go anywhere, and that's in the middle. So far so good. Let's get the engine back in, and we'll go from there. I'll let you know about the gearing. Be interested myself to see what it is anyway. So a quick count up of the pinion and spur gear. You can read that. That's 15, and that one there, which you can see on there, 66. So that's 4 point. According to my, I'm going to act really like I know what I'm doing here. My calculations, that's a ratio of 4.40. When you consider the TT01 was 2.7 to 1, and that's 4.4, that's double. Now, as you can look here as well, the tyres, they're a lot bigger. I don't know that calculation. Obviously the circumference of the tyre is a lot bigger than what it is on the TT01, a huge amount. So it's going to, if I knew the calculation, and I'm pretty sure I could Google that, if I measured it, but to me that's going to rev its nuts off. I doubt it's going to get anywhere close to 40 miles an hour even. I could be surprised, maybe with a bigger wheel it could, but that engine's going to scream. It's a 0.15 engine, by the way, so yeah. Anyway, we're going to get it bolted back in. I'm going to see if it will pick up on that the starter box, and see if it will just spin it over for a bit and go from there. So that's the engine and everything all back in. What I can just show you on here, I mean, it all works. I mean, I haven't tried it on the box yet, I must admit, but that's that one, and then we've got the steering. That all works. And I've taken the, as you can see, there's a spark plug out, a glow plug, and it's earthed onto the top of the head there, and I've got a little red button there. So that's like, I'll push the button. There's no fuel in it anyway, but push the button, and you should, there you go. It glows for about 20 seconds. In the meantime, you put it on the starting box, turn it over as the fuel to be primed anyway, and it goes off, and it should be running at that point. So it's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to try it now on the box just to make sure it turns over. I'm not going to put the plug in. And I'm also going to reroute the fuel line as well. I'm not too happy where that's going. It's going over the sort of in there. I'm going to reroute it round the other side and see what I can do with that. But so far so good. Let's try it on the box. So it's on the box. I'm hoping that you can hear me. I haven't got the microphone attached to me, but it's Nevertheless, it's kind of where it needs to be. So I'm going to turn the box on. It's not going to start, by the way. Plugs out. There's nothing in the plug. So, but it's in its setting position. Let's see if this works. It was at this point that I decided to headbutt the wall with immense force. The box was wired for the wheel to spin in the other direction, which I didn't realise. So it was a simple fix. Just change it over. Bob's your uncle. Oh, hang on. Although it fits that way, I know what I've done. Right, so here we are. We've got the car on the starter. I had to reverse the polarity of the starter so that the wheel went the other way around. But it should. There's nothing attached. There's no oil in it. There's no fuel in it. It won't run, but it should turn over. Oh, turn it on. There we go. So that's right where you need it. Nice and easy. So it fits lovely on there. Turns over lovely. There's no spark plug in it. I'll just try it again. So if I was coming along and it'd run out, put fuel in it, put it onto the starter box where my markers are. It's on there, nice and easy. And it should run. Good. So that's one result. Even the dog thinks so. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Yeah, don't eat it though. Right, so thanks for listening. Next time I see you, I should hopefully get it running and it'll be outside. If not, it'll be a little bit of a... I'll start the engine and then maybe I'll have a running video. That's sort of going to be the next step on this car. So I'll see you in a bit. So one final sort of report before I get this car running. It's all done now. As you know, it started on the start box. Currently just charging the receiver batteries, which are NiCads in the back. Rerouted the fuel line a little bit. I've also put some tape underneath, just on some screws that I think could come loose. I should use Loctite, but I don't know. I don't want to. The thing with Loctite is it does tend to make it very difficult to take it all apart again if you want to. That's the whole point. I get that, but I've decided not to put it on at the moment because I don't know how much of this I'm going to keep as it is. Apart from the shock absorbers, this is an absolute pretty much stock kit. The shock absorbers are supposed to be for a Traxxas. Actually, they're more like 1/8 scale. They're a bit too big for this car, but it does have a lot of movement in it. The back's fine. I could do with some thicker oil in the front. But I don't know, because it just sort of springs up. I can limit these shocks and run them stiffer, which is what I'll probably do. I'll probably take them apart and run some internal pipe, some fuel pipe or something, so it runs a bit lower, and some thick oil, and it'll sort of sit around that sort of height. That's what I want to do. The back ain't too bad because it's got weight over it, but that's not going to be on this run. Yeah, it's pretty much it. It's just charging the back batteries up. The fuel can go in it and it can be started. I'm going to think when I can do that. I might be able to do it sooner rather than later. I might be able to do it over the weekend. I don't know yet, but next time you see me, we'll be out on track and we'll get this Nitro revving its nuts off. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on track. Sim fans, race fans, RC fans, racing 393. So the last time I spoke to you about my RC10 GT, in all intents and purposes, I was going to take it out. So I filmed all the stuff I'd done to it up to this point. I actually took it out for a run, started, but I had some problems. A couple of problems which I've now fixed. One of the problems was the slipper clutch was slipping. Unlike, I suppose, unlike electric cars, you just go out and the car, the controller, the camera, and that's it, and off you go, generally speaking. They're pretty much plug and play. Nitro cars, completely different kettle of fish. You need so much more stuff. You know, more can go wrong, which I found out. So I had trouble trying to find my spare glow plugs. So I only took one, and you can guess what happened. The glow plug went out. So it didn't get much of a running. It was a nice day, unfortunately. It was good, but it just didn't get enough running to warrant a video. So I then decided, okay, I'll investigate the problem, which I'd fixed. I got some spark plugs, fixed the slipper clutch, and all was good. But I've never really been a huge fan of the truck body shell, the RC10 GT. I just don't, to me, it doesn't look appealing. There's many people out there that have got these, I know, and they, you know, when they raced in their current, you know, in the day, and even now, people have got them to race. No, I just don't get it. So, in my wisdom, which was a far more complex than I first thought, and it still isn't finished, as you can see, I'll move the camera. As you can see, we've now got what looks like a 1/8 buggy. These are pretty much 1/8 scale. They're 1/10, but the wheelbase and the sort of the footprint is pretty much close to my Kaisho Inferno 1/8 buggy. As you can see, I've had to make a few modifications. So let's start off here. So the obvious one, and this is obvious. I'm trying not to use the word obviously and practically and obvious. But I've had to cut the hole in the top there for the engine. This is only one of the standard engines. I've got others, and they do stick up a bit further, so there might be some more trimming towards that back edge. But that was done. The back was trimmed because it wouldn't fit that side of the rear bulkhead. Put a little hole in there as well. That's for the, although I can't reach it by hand, a screwdriver or something, just press that red button to glow, make the glow plug glow for 20 seconds. The front of the monocoque part, if you like, I've had to cut off. It only stuck out anyway, and you can see that it finishes here, and I use like a cable tie just for now, for it's quick. So I've only got to undo that pin, and then I can just flip it up like a flip top head. I was debating of what to do with the front. That plate on there is for the Sky RC performance analyzer. So I'm going to leave that where it is, and it's very open at the front there. Got the bulkhead, that's carbon fibre. Yeah, what else? Everything else inside the car is as before, and clearly I've got the bigger wing on there. It's just fitted onto the rear bulkhead. It's fine. It all kind of, you know, it works really well. The front's a bit springy. Like I said before, I haven't really done that yet. I just want to get it running. So I have purchased a few bits and pieces. There's no point showing you all of them here, but I've got some more spark plugs. different ratings to see which runs better on this engine. I've got the recommended heat range on this. Is it N3 or something? I don't know. I've got a couple of different makes, models, but here, I think if I remember right, it's got a 66 tooth spur gear, 15 tooth pinion. So, but I've got here a 65 tooth pinion. So I've got that to try. That's 65. Which order does this go in? 64. So it's on 66. So it will go 65. I'll give that a go. 64. And then 62. Now I know the pinions can be changed. That's a little bit way down the road. So we're going to get it out perhaps next week. There's some good sunny days next week, so we're going to get it out, give it a run. I've actually got spares, things like spark plugs now. So if anything goes wrong, at least I can put another one in. The slipper clutch is done up. It can go tighter, so I've got that in hand. So if all goes well, we should be running next week. And hopefully get some speed out of this thing, see what we can do. It was running a bit rich when I was running it, but I couldn't really give it much because it was slipping. So yeah, we can probably run it a little bit leaner, I think. A bit leaner, and then we can get it sort of pinging down the runway. I've found a new spot as well, which is a lot smoother for longer. So especially when I go back to the speed run of the TT01 car, I shouldn't be launching it in the air like I did before. Although you didn't see that because the camera wasn't filming. So that's where we're at. So what we're going to do is this time, I'm going to take my modified RC10 GT. So it now looks like a car show buggy. Me personally, looks a bit more appealing. We'll take it out. I'm not going to put any stickers on it. I might do that after this run once we get a different spur gear. But other than that, we'll see you out on the runway at some time in the next few days. Alright, well thanks for listening. See you in a bit. So we're on location again. Just going to see if it starts. I've done the slipper clutch. That was the problem last time. But I've not started it since. So I'm just going to prime the engine first. And it pulls fuel up. And we've got this little button which we press. That makes the glow plug start and glow. With a bit of luck. For 20 seconds. Right, so I've stopped that because I think the slipper clutch is a little bit too tight. So I just need to adjust that. You can stop it there. Just going to warm it up first. Are you recording? I think it's still slipping. Yeah, it's slipping. Yeah, it's slipping. Can you hear it slip? So it shouldn't rev like that. Okay, so we've still got slip on the old slipper clutch. So I'm just going to wind that in. Because, that's better, it's still slipping. It's supposed to slip a little bit. Well, that seems okay now. So we're going to do a speed run quickly. We've got the diff semi-sorted. I'm going to take it down the road, bring it back, stop it and see what we're going to do. See what speed we're doing. I think it's still slipping. So here we go, see what speed. Not very quick. I've got to sort out the tick over's far too high, so I'm going to adjust that when I come back now. So all we got out of that was a putrid 33 miles an hour. That is shit. So the electric car did 45, so lots more work to do. It's probably to do with the fact that the gearing's wrong and the setup's completely wrong, but we're going to work on it and see if we can get a little bit more out of it. So we're going to try it again. Push the button to get the glow plug glowing. See if it'll start. Doesn't stay particularly straight. Don't like those front tyres have got ribs on. It's sort of, you've got to keep correcting it every time you go past. What's that? Well, I don't know yet, do we?
Just under 30 miles an hour.
What's that?
Just under 30.
Just push.
Just hit my foot with it. Did you mean to?
No. So we've had a bit of a game plan, and we've got someone else controlling the car at the moment. Don't go flat out though, because it slips still. I mean, the car's not as quick as it should be. It sounds out of control even when it isn't. There's people coming down now, so you might have to come back. If we bring it back to us for a minute, bring it back sort of slow and stop it near us, and we'll turn it off, have another go in a minute. That's alright, go on. Yeah? Stay on this side. And come. And turn around and come back. It might be getting interference from your controller. Just keep it on the strip and come back past me. If I get too close to you, this stops.
Let's go further away.
You walk back that way, yeah. So, we did try the gearing, the spur gear done up, it didn't work, it's still slipping slightly. Do it from a standing start. So we're going to try a standing start.
Sure that full beans means flat out. Last time I heard.
And go.
Just remind me, who's driving this again?
Try again. But give it more beans on the go. Go on. And go. So we're going to do a standing start. Full beans. Go. So I don't know if you can see that. Is it recording? I don't know if you can see that. 38 miles an hour. So we definitely can go down with the spur gear, and we could be up into the 45s hopefully, the same as the electric car with a bit of luck. But good effort by the amateur.
So we're going to let the expert have a go, apparently. So after this near-death experience, what we thought we'd do is just film an aeroplane flying into the airport, majestically landing. This calmed the atmosphere from what was actually quite a very scary incident. Nobody was harmed during this part of the filming.
Yeah, so I've switched over to the planes now. No, that's a real plane. As you can see, we're at the airport here.